Here we're going to a box of Bants, and I'm very happy here to be with Commonwealth bronze medalist Jimmy Mack, James Mcglynn. James, nice to get a hold of you because obviously, like you've been in today, that you're going to be fighting out in California
Yeah,
this coming Saturday. And I know you've been out there training over the last 2 weeks. So first things first, how are things going for you out there?
brilliant. We got here last Sunday, late last Sunday, and then we got up. I was away doing manacles and stuff on Monday, and then we get into the gym down to the Blue Moon Boxing Club, Buddy McGurt's gym. Been down there basically every day this week, or every day last week. Sorry,
Hmm.
training, doing a bit of sparring with some of the guys down there. So all valuable experience.
I know, obviously you're managed by Jay and Share Sports, but how did it come about for you to come out here and get a fight in the US?
Well, of course, Sheer Sports, the guys that run it, and then the main man himself, they've been out in LA for a long time. So once the last fight fell through, we went, right, we'll just keep on the wagon and keep trucking on. And he phoned me one day after work to tell me I was coming to fight in LA. So
Hmm.
I got
Um, was that always in the plan? Do you think, because the company itself is kind of based out abroad, was always an idea like, look, we're going to get you a few fights in the US?
I don't know, at the start, maybe. We sort of talked about it before. I never talked about LA before now. I've had to say LA to jump at that straight away, and I have done. But being out here is a different experience. Like fighting, we were actually in a gym sparring one day, and there was a guy from England sparring. And before even talking to him, I knew straight away that he was from our side of the pond. Like it's a different style of boxing here altogether.
Yeah.
So once the idea came about of getting out here and getting out to train and getting out to fight, to jump at that straight away because again,
Mm.
it's in fact experience. Like it's a whole different ball game out here.
Mm. It's interesting you say that. What from your experience do you find so different about it? Like I lived in the States for probably 4 or 5 years in the East Coast, and I trained in a boxing gym there, and there was like a couple of pros there, and it was a totally different culture to what I see in amateur clubs here. But what is it? What's been the biggest difference that you've seen so far?
And the two I sparred twice out here, and the two spars that I had, both of them, the guy you're in with is trying to take your head off from the get go. Like there's no feeling out. There's no soft punches getting through. Every single punch is to try and break your jaw, and everything through the intent. So that's the main difference. But even just the cultures in the gyms too. You're in the gyms, and every one of the gyms pro boxer. Everyone's got the same sort of idea going forward. And if you're jumping in with a guy to spar, you're doing 6, 10, 8 rounds maybe. Like you're getting far into the deep end.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and it seems like a lot of people are kind of left to their own accord, almost like training themselves.
Yeah, well, I think in that Blue Moon boxing gym there is like 3 or 4 different coaches that all have their own sort of stable of fighters.
Yeah.
And you go down and at any given time, like you can fire a pair of gloves on and jump in and spar.
Hmm. And I think as well, and one of the great things about American the experience is that it's not just names being associated with like training in the same gym, but like there's a lot of sparring partners and opponents in those gyms that could have been fighting for world titles and whatnot, but they just never had any
Yeah,
kind of
spar.
backing and that. So there's very, very dangerous people in the gyms that you can always spar every day that you wouldn't have ever heard of, like.
Yeah, the second spar I had is it Adam Lopez you call him. So I sparred him the second day, and he had fought Oscar Valdez, and
Mm,
by all giving that Oscar Valdez all he wanted. And I think I actually got chatting to him after it, and he's a 25 professional. I'm jumping in. That I didn't even realize, and we're in just on, and you went, and it was like second nature. Just getting in, had a great spar with him.
hmm.
I mean, you don't see that in Belfast all the time. Obviously, there's a lot of great fighters in Belfast and a lot of great pros. Anthony Cathy just won the title there.
Yeah.
He's the same weight as me. Do you know what I mean? That there is a lot of great competition
Mm,
in Belfast and Ireland. But when you come out here, like it's everywhere. There's
yeah.
cheap stone. You hit a gym, and in that gym, there's 10 pros, all looking just far.
Yeah. Um, has your coach come out with you?
I'm a dad's here, yeah.
Yeah,
He's here with
yeah.
me.
And I see you've been doing a few things with Jay himself, Jay Quigley. What has he been? What has he been teaching? And like, it must be valuable experience. Like,
That's that man's been to the top of the tree before, hasn't he? So being out with him and even just jumping in the ring and doing bits and pieces with him, teaching me, I still very much my amateur style and the style that I have is very counter punchy and up and moving and all that. And out here, you have to just learn to settle it down and take your time. And there's these guys are putting pressure on you without even throwing punches. Like they're just walking after you and you're up constantly moving. So when he was here, he's in with me in the corner and in the ring with me, working on that and getting that part of my game fixed.
And I suppose there's no better teacher, isn't there? Because Jay, when he was at the top of the tree in amateurs, that was his style. Is Jay's control of range and counterpunching was just like unbelievable. But obviously when he went into pros, he had to kind of adjust, and Andy Lee kind of taught him the little idiosyncrasies, and it seems like that's like the perfect fit for you
Yeah,
to kind of develop. Like,
of course. Well, again, as you say, I mean, distance control and counterpunching are two of the strongest strings in my bow. Like they're two of the main things that I do. They just come to me naturally. Gifted with them too,
mm,
and I very very well.
yeah,
But right here, sometimes that just isn't going to cut it. And in this fight, I don't think that's going to be just enough to get me through this fight. Like this fight again, I said on the interview with Chris the other day, it's going to be, I think, a dog fight. Like this Mexican guy is probably just going to eat it and keep coming forward.
yeah.
So I had to be prepared for that first of all, and then physically know this is what I need to do here, and I had to deal with whatever scenario this guy comes at me with. And having him, of course, as you say, he's shifted from that amateur style to the professional style. So he's just on passing them tips and tricks on to me.
Yeah. Um, do you know the name of the opponent yet? Do you know exactly who he is?
I do have his name, although whether he's a Mexican guy, I do have his name. It'll be on. It's on Box Track already. You'll probably be able to get it up.
All right, okay.
We've watched him fighting it, but I can't actually off the top of my head, I can't remember. But we've
Yeah,
watched him. He's a bit wild and he's full on forward. So it'll be interesting to see once I hit him what he thinks he's going to do, and then again once you land a shot on his chin, what his plan is going forward. Whether he's going to keep balling on forward, hit it, and keep coming, or whether he's going to go out that hard of it and maybe try and tuck up and survive.
yeah. So Luis Montalano,
The very man.
yeah. So he's 3-9, Mexican, born and raised in Tijuana, Mexico. So yeah, yeah,
Well, things the guy. He's just tough as old boots, isn't he?
yeah, yeah. Interesting enough now, like he's never been stopped.
Well,
So
first man to stop him, or maybe
yeah,
the first in my career.
yeah. But and it's kind of like the perfect fight for you, isn't it? Because that's kind of reminiscent of Jay when he was being built by Golden Boy, because he was kind of being built out on the West Coast, and it kind of that he was being built in that Mexican style against Mexican
Yeah,
opponents.
even in the again, I keep referring back to being in these gyms and sparring, but my dad and mates open both our eyes up as the high. Like you can't just come out here and think a nice European slick counter punching style. Yes, it'll work. Of course, it'll work. It'll always work. But see, when you start doing 10 round fights, you have to just bite down the gum shield and sit down and just get stuck in.
Yeah, very much reminiscent of Eric Donovan's fight of the weekend.
Yeah,
absolutely decorated amateur, but a lot of that was just like he just had to just push through pain.
yeah. Again, listen, boxing, it's hit and don't get hit. But
Yeah.
when you're trucking into like 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds,
Mm,
fancy up on your toe, shit starts to go out the window. And when you start to get tired, you stop seeing them shots as quick and stop seeing the wee triggers, and you start just caught with shots here and there. So it's just about being switched on to that and knowing, yes, it's round 6 and you're starting to blow up a wee bit, being switched on and knowing I'm not actually that tired
mm.
and you're active.
Did you get a chance to meet Buddy McGraw?
Yeah, every day you're in the gym, I get a first leg in the day. See, when you go into these gyms, you say hello to everybody in the gym. Training away, you've been having bits of crack with me and my dad, and then when you're leaving, you say goodbye to everybody as well.
And
being in them gyms and having them kind of guys having their eyes on you and seeing whether they even pay attention to you or not, it's something you do catches their eye. It's great to be in around them circles.
Mm. And have you learned much knowledge from Buddy?
We haven't done much in the way of training with him now, but just sort of funny enough, the day we were sitting, I was just getting changed the edge of the ring, listening to him talking to a couple of guys, and he was talking about how the first time he could beat was a game changer in his career, and he walked home from mail and phoned his manager straight away, said, "Listen, get me an fight ASAP," and went back and beat that guy for a title. Listen, even he may not be talking directly to you, but when you're just sitting around him and listening and just sort of tuning what he's saying and picking up wee bits and pieces.
Yeah, like Buddy's been through the most stereotypical stories you can hear in boxing. Like literally, like he was world champion. He looked after everyone, paid so much money for so many people, and then he lost, and he literally was calling everyone, and people were just hanging up on him, and he was just like, "Whoa, fuck, you really are on your own," you know.
Well, he's good. We've been here. He's been great crack. Like he's always laughing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So he's learned a lot of great lessons. Like, and a lot of people who coach him or who've been coaching him always say how great of a coach he is and how great of a cornerman he is as well. He coached Matthew Mcglynn for a while.
I think he's still one of the Callum Smith.
Yeah. Paul Malaji, he coached a few others now, but I'll have to look up. But they're like, yeah, like he's coached some of the best ever. Like.
And again, being in that gym, being around that's the kind of company you want to be keeping when you want to make this for your job. Like,
who's the Canadian guy who fought Carl Froch? Lucian Bute. That's another one there. But yeah. So what I was going to say to you is, so another thing I want to ask you, right? And you know I'm going to ask you this anyway. The fella. Week, right? Why don't you just give your side of what happened, like, because I know there was a statement released, and just
I was ready to rock and roll. It was Thursday night, probably around 7, 8 o'clock. I was in the gym going to do making a weight session. My weight was sweet, and we got a phone call to say that the British Boxing Board of Control aren't letting this fight go ahead at the weight or the rounds. That was it. I was told at 7 o'clock, and boom, that was the shot in the foot.
Yeah.
I wake up to all this madness of people saying I pulled out and all bullshit. I've never pulled out of a fight in my life, and I never will pull out of a fight in my life.
And like the thing is, like I don't think like people inside boxing would I don't think anyone would think that you'd pull out of the fight. But one thing I thought the fight was at 6 rounds, and then you were trying to push for a title at 8 rounds.
I don't think him out saying it was me trying to change the weight or something like that. I don't know who was getting all forever.
So it was always 8 rounds in your mind, was it?
I was on from 130.
Yeah.
From 130. We were doing 8 rounds. That's what I was told, and that's what was saying.
Yeah.
Where it was telling who what, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that black and white, but that's all the bullshit stripped away.
Yeah. I imagine you were devastated at the time when you heard about it, seeing as it was at home.
Listen, be under no illusions, that was my fight. This was a fight for me. It was my show in my city.
Yeah.
Amy had fought me and was like, "Do you want to come down and watch the fight?" And I was like, "No, I don't, because I'm going to have to go and sit there and watch everybody doing what I should be doing."
Yeah.
Absolutely devastated. That was the Odyssey Arena. Like, Carl Frampton fought me Odyssey, and I went to watch him when I went. I would love to fight here one day. I think Sean said the same thing, and he was just glad that he got it now and got it over the line. Now, there will be another show on the Odyssey. I know there will be, and I will probably be on it. But that was devastating because it was such a hyped up thing, ready to rock and roll. I was so ready for it, and I got pulled with no question the day before the weigh-in. And then to wake up the next day, they did do all this bullshit, on Instagram, keyboard warriors thing. So that just was an hour kicking the stones. And then I happened to actually meet Colin Murphy. He fought. I watched him fighting because he's a gym mate of mine. Well, was a gym mate of mine. I'm watching him fighting for a belt that I should have been fighting for. I was pushing to fight for. And when it was great to see that, of course, it was fantastic to see it, but it was a sickener as well because I was going, that's my call fight and the belt I should have been fighting for. That's again, this is boxing. This is again another experience out here in these gyms. People say these things happen. It's just what it is. And you just have to get on with
it. In hindsight now, like even though it was disappointing at the time too, he's had gone through a camp, um, and it seemed like it was going to be probably fight of the night. Like it was probably it was me personally, it was one I was looking forward to the most. But in hindsight now, I suppose the fight is bigger now. Like, do you know what I mean? Like if you
talked about this. See if he can go and make the weight. And again, he could have been on the weight. He could have made the weight. I don't know. Maybe he did. It's not his fault there. It's the board's fault or whoever it is that said they're not happy with it.
But he said, he did weigh in. He did go to the weigh in, and he did weigh in.
Range won that.
Yeah.
Anyway, if he goes and makes a weight, does a 6 rounder, and is allowed to fight 8 rounds, no sweat. Let's do it. Not a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And it would it be you'd be fighting for a lightweight Celtic title or even Irish title?
I don't know. Again, I'm a super featherweight.
Yeah.
A lot of people,
or super, yeah.
Because I have to jump up. The only reason I haven't fought a super featherweight is because every time I've been signed to fight, something happens, someone pulls out, there's an injury, something happens, and then it's a late replacement, and they go, right, he can only make 61. So I go, right, okay, I'll go and do that. Same scenario this time. He can make this weight. Will you go up? Fine. Mm-hmm. But if it is like just to get the fight, fine. We'll go at 135. It's grand. But on record, be under no illusions, I'm a super feather. I'm a 130-pound fighter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if he can't make super feather and I can make lightweight, then let's do that.
Yeah. Back. Just you being in America. How do you like the lifestyle out there? Like, could you ever see yourself staying out there?
Yeah, of course. I feel like a Kardashian walking about here, so it's great. Like we were sleeping our day, we were talking about Calabasas for a drive, and I was going, why do I know that? I know that name from somewhere. Someone texts me and says, it's from me, I watch the Kardashians, and that's where I live. I thought about it, and see if one of them wants to be my mate. But no, of course, listen, I'm out here training in professional gyms with these super about the place. The sun's splitting the trees all the time. It's constantly roasting. So,
yeah. I don't know if Jay's ever told you this, but I always found it very interesting when he made the move to Sheffield from LA, and he said, one of the reasons why I had to move is because I was Golden Boy were paying for a nice accommodation for him, and he had a nice weather, lovely setup, and all that. But then he realized he was actually living like a world champion before he'd actually won one, and he said that taught him the lesson they should change the scenery. Can you see that yourself? Like maybe that could happen to you, like being out there. Like
the only thing with being out here with me, I'd hold my hands up and say I'm humbled. I like being at home. Yeah. I mean, my dad, I asked him the other day, "Are you missing home at all?" And he says, "Not really. We are in contact with home, and it's different because me and him are both here. So if it was here by myself, it may be a different story."
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that would stop me maybe doing this is being a homebird, and even at that, I would just have to shut up and get on with it because this is an opportunity that not a lot of people get to get or get to have.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, then you just jump at it, and it's invaluable coming out here and doing this.
Mm-hmm. It's just a one fight, is it? And then you're flying home after that.
Fight Saturday night, home Sunday evening,
mm-hmm.
And Sunday afternoon somewhere because I've been busting this fire off a pistol over here somewhere.
And I think as far as I know, I think Jamie's trying to fix a card before the end of the year. I think, but I don't know if that's confirmed or not. But are you looking to get out again before the end of the year?
Ideally, twice at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Ideally, I once and then maybe a game before Christmas.
Yeah.
The boss is lurking about here somewhere. Maybe he can hear me. I'll fight this week and next week.
Yeah. I suppose the good thing about your situation is that you're not tied down to, in particular, a promoter on the island. So if there's shows going on the island anywhere, you can kind of go into anyone really. So you're open for a lot of options. So probably should be no reason why you can't get out before the end of the year, hopefully.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely have another one before the end. 100%. Just how many more we can fit in as well.
Mm-hmm. You must feel like you're trying to make up for lost time now.
To be honest, mate, my whole career's been like this.
Yeah.
I've just getting ready to go and going right. How many times have I said this is it? This is the start of it now. We're going to go on a good run here.
Mm-hmm.
It falls apart. But a man won a world title the other night, and you look at him and go, how many setbacks has Anthony Kakachi had in his career? How many times has he had something through, or he's had his career stalled up a wee bit? So you just got to keep trucking.
Yeah, I did very much like what Eric said before his fight a few weeks ago. He said it's just you just have to just keep the faith, like that's the only thing that keeps you going. Like, yeah. But look, James, appreciate your time, and I'll let you enjoy the rest of your time, which I know you will enjoy the rest of your time.
Go now and get out into the sunshine while you jump into your bed to go to sleep. I think
That's exactly it. Yeah, get up for work in the morning. So yeah, but look, yeah, happy for you that you're enjoying it, and look, hopefully I'll get to see you at a show here before the end of the year.
definitely.
All right, thanks very much, James. Right.
All right, bye bye.